So imagine my surprise when I saw the 14th Doctor announcement. Now, putting aside the fact that this individual, I can't even begin to pronounce their fucking name. Parents gave them a straight up gamer tag instead of a name. Let's assess the fact that Doctor Who has not only been on a steady downward decline, has not only been failing year after year in both numbers and revenue, but has been single-handedly the worst sci-fi show in history. I mean, people point to Star Trek, and they're like, Star Trek has gone on too long, man. They need to hang it up. They're milking Star Trek. I laugh my fucking ass off of these people, and I say, really? Let me introduce you to the absolute mediocrity, the intelligence of your audience insulting catastrophe that is Doctor Who. The show where they replace the main character every couple of years because the actors come aboard so excited to play an iconic role, so absolutely enamored with the idea that they could bring a child hero to life. And then after 2-3 years of doing it, they realize these are the worst fucking years of their life, and instead of shooting themselves in the head on set, they depart with a hand wave and a fat paycheck. Now, you would think after this cycle going through 2 or 3 times, the actors would learn, the BBC would learn. Yes, the BBC. Those of you who remember my epic, legendary BBC stream, you know who you are. But you figure the BBC would learn. No, they don't. They just keep chugging out seasons of Doctor Who. I mean, my God, it took a break in the 90s. I thought it was done for good, and I was so thankful. Every day that a new season of Doctor Who was not in development, I fell to my fucking knees, I clasped my hands together, and I thanked the good Lord above. But my God, now it's back full throttle. The new Who has been the worst Doctor Who has ever been, period. I mean, my God, there hasn't been a good, believable Doctor in at least 30 years of this show. It is straight sci-fi nerd pandering garbage, and even worse, now it's SJW diversity sci-fi nerd pandering garbage. I mean, my God, you want to talk about cliche sci-fi tropes? You want to talk about Deus Ex Machinas out the fucking ass? You want to talk about red herrings? You want to talk about false narrators? This show does it all. It does it all, and it does it with the lowest CGI budget of any modern show. It does it with some of the most atrocious acting and some of the worst showrunners that I have ever and probably will ever see. Now, it goes without saying, right? Like, you want to run down the list. Chris Eccleston, absolutely horrible actor. He departed after 1 season. That was the best thing that ever happened to this show. He had no idea who the Doctor was. Couldn't play the Doctor to save his life. His episodes were boring. His episodes were CGI-filled garbage. And the CGI wasn't even that good. And then the fanboy's favorite love child, David Tennant, took over. This clown was overrated from the start. Seriously, dude was in his mid-30s when he took up the role. His hair looked like he was an 18-year-old fresh out of high school thinking he was badass. Like, get the hell out of here, you fucking loser. And then we had that absolute court jester Matt Smith take over for a couple of years. His seasons were without a doubt where this series began to tank hard. I'm not talking a slow, steady decline that you might hear about. No, I'm talking full-on 90-degree nosedive. And this is about the point where the red warning lights and the alarms started ringing in the BBC, but they chose to bury their heads in the sand and just continue pumping out episodes of Doctor Who. Then they got Father Time himself, that geriatric, crippled old fuck Peter Capaldi, to play the Doctor for a couple years, thinking they could harken back to the original essence of the Doctor, a grouchy old man, because didn't you know what we all wanted in our Doctor of Doctor Who was to see some pissant old man bitch about how things were back in the day and how everything sucks now. Well, after he farmed it out for a couple years and could barely walk anymore, then they decided to hand the reins over to a woman, Jodie Whittaker, the first time a woman had ever been the Doctor in, about 50 years. Very progressive BBC. I have to applaud your absolutely forward, liberal thinking writing there. And wouldn't you know it, they had the right idea all along. She was without a doubt the worst, proving without a shadow of a doubt, and with the new recent Doctor announcement, that women simply cannot act. They can't get anything done, let alone acting. So Jodie Whittaker hangs it up after 3 years of farming it out with all the fanboys jerking off to her photos online. And now we have the 14th Doctor announcement. Like, my fucking God, it's so overdone. It's so overplayed. It's so fucking tired, bro. I'm just tired of trash shows. I'm tired of BBC backing the absolute worst shows and not embracing the true shows. Now, have there been great parts of Doctor Who? Have there been really, really good aspects of it? Yes. The credits scene, because you can sigh in collective relief, you and whoever else you were subjecting to this horrible show, both simultaneously thinking, when will the goddamn torture end? When the credits roll, you can breathe and sigh in relief, and you're finally free from the shackles of Doctor Who. But oh no, there's only, 500 more episodes to get through. But I do commend the BBC for one thing. With this recent Doctor announcement and the diversity checkbox that it actually checks, we can finally embrace the BBC for what it truly means and not that pussy British Broadcasting Corporation SJW friendly slogan they've been slinging around for the last 50 years. Doctor Who's dead. The 14th Doctor's terrible. The fact that he signed an agreement to come on as the Doctor says enough about him. I have no interest in watching. I will not be watching. I will, however, be buying the boxed Blu-ray set just so I can remove the artwork and use it as a piece of toilet paper. Do not watch the 14th Doctor. Do not watch Doctor Who. Do not watch anything the BBC puts out unless it is strictly on Pornhub. You go on Pornhub, you type in BBC, you will see content that is infinitely more enjoyable and better acted than Doctor Who.